Hey folks, it's Ben. Video number 2 for the day for us. This will be the easiest slash hardest one to do. We're going to be changing the fuel filter in this 1994 Buick Regal with the Series 1 V6 in it. So the proper way to do that is to depressurize the system first under the assumption that it has any pressure in it. It probably does, but we'll see about that. So what I'm going to do here is we have our intake manifold, and you see these two nice little tubes here. This is our fuel pressure rail. It actually controls the fuel pressure through our fuel pressure regulator right here, and it actually has a connection to our intake connection here, and that allows the fuel pressure to vary as the intake pressure varies as well. And nice thing about it has a Schrader valve right here. So if I unscrew this little, looks like a cap that would be on a wheel. It's actually a little bit different size. Set that over there so I can knock it down later. And I'm going to take this, a fuel pressure meter, clearly, and it's in PSI and KPA. I really care about the PSI part, and it screws in here. But the biggest part I like about this is it's got a bleed feature, so I can actually press that button and bleed back into a container. So what I'm going to do is take this and screw it into my fuel pressure rail here. Now, in theory, before you even screw this in, you're supposed to depressurize the system because it just dropped gasoline in there, but I kind of want to dual check the system. So I got my pressure screwed in here, nice and tight. It's showing nothing on the gauge, so that's cool. So there's nothing to vent off. So we could have popped the fuel filter off and it would have been fine. So what I'm going to have one of my helpers do, they show up, I put them to work. Can you hold this like this for Mr. Duncan here? Just grab the bottom, so,
bottom.
Yeah, like this part here.
Oh, that, okay.
Yeah, grab the hoops. Just like so, and you're gonna focus in on the dial. And as I turn the car on, the fuel pump's gonna run, and it's gonna hopefully, A, not spray fuel everywhere, and B, go up to about 40 pounds. Yeah. And that's exactly what it did. So our fuel system's looking pretty good in terms of, if we were to start the car, it would go down because the intake manifold is under vacuum. It would actually cause it to go lower. But long story short, the fuel pump's doing its job, so good for us on that. But here's our convenient part. Now that the car has pressure on the system, we don't want to pull the filter. So here's my discharge tube. Thank you, helper. I'm going to press this. It's actually going to vent that fuel into the bucket, and now we know our fuel system is depressurized. I'm actually going to take it off, and we'll put the Schrader valve back on, because if it were low or not going up quickly, that might have indicated that our fuel filter was plugged. But in this case, it went up nice and quick. It's probably fine, but we're going to change it anyway. And that's that for that. I think it's located under the car. It's really rocking in here with the wind outside. So we're by the rear driver's side door. So the wheel well's right there. We're gonna slide in underneath the driver's side door. Oof. And underneath we're gonna find this. So we're missing something here that should be holding these up, because these are brake lines. And ooh, that's not factory. So we might have something going on here, and these are kind of corroded, so we might go ahead and work on those, and they're fairly corroded on the way down the line. But we're back here to the fuel filter. Here we have our fuel line that goes up to the motor. And then we have a quick connect on this side, so we got that going for us. And then there's a bolt. Where are you? Why do I do this to myself? There will be a bolt that keeps this tight, usually. I can't seem to see it though. So it's loose enough actually. We'll get her undone here. So the thing we've got to do is we've got to put a wrench on this, on the filter, and we have to put a wrench on the fuel line. And I'm going to go ahead and squirt some slip juice on this, because this is actually on the line and we don't want it bitten in too much there. That comes apart with pliers. This comes apart with love. So we'll get on that right now, and I think I might throw you on a tripod just so I don't, not so wiggly. I always forget to film the amazing unboxings, right? So here we have the Pro Select. The Pro Select is the, how do I say this, low end. It cost me $6. The gold or premium version of this filter is like $20. But I went ahead and paid the $6 because I love this car. It's my favorite. So we have a plastic cap covering the end, keep stuff out, and then here's our plastic clip. So this is the part we need to clip, squeeze those tabs so that it can pop out that side. And then here is the discharge that goes to the motor. And they also put a little red cap in there that my assistant's going to take out because I'm holding the camera. There you go. See, you just need two hands sometimes. And for wrench size, what size wrench is that? Oh, I'm going to say it's a 15, and I'm going to be wrong. It's not a 15. It's going to be bigger than that. It's going to be that. My goodness. So according to the new one, it's going to want a 19. Okay. Ooh. So a 19 open on that one should do the job. Close enough anyway. And so I'm hoping yeah, that's perfect. So I'm hoping metric land, we're gonna be up to 13, maybe. That's a 9/16. I think we're metric in here. I think I put it away. So I'll get a 13 and a 19, and we should be able to break that guy free. I'm gonna break it first, and I've got a fuel container I'm gonna bring with me because we're gonna drip fuel all over the place. It does evaporate, but we still wanna catch as much as we can. And yeah, let's do that. This is where you get to see how out of shape I am as I wiggle under this darn car. Actually the easiest way to get the fuel out, the front connected, actually is what I found is actually if you have a pair of wire strippers with a nice narrow nose on them, you can get in here and just kind of, actually barely that yet, and just squeeze them in and pull the line, which means I gotta hug the camera. Hi camera, how's it going? Squeeze that and wiggle that out. And maybe, come on. Be a nice guy here. Why don't you just go ahead and just let go. Okay, so it's gonna fight me a little bit. So let's try the other side, which is gonna fight me even more, which is the threaded side. What is that line? That's not great. Anyway, so the 5/8 wrench barely fits on here, and the 19 says nope. Yes, and the 3/4 says no as well. So we have to switch it to an adjustable to get whatever size this filter is. We'll see what it is once we get it off. Could be an AC Delco, probably some generic piece of crap. So we're good there. And let's go ahead and righty-tighty, lefty-loosey this thing out. Well, ripping the whole thing apart would be great. And that was who moving? The line or the filter is actually breaking off of its mount. That's great. Okay, let's try again with the hose. There we go. So that line is now open and free. Once again, seems like somebody really railed on this thing to get it on there. Like I said, 5/8, I probably just should go to another adjustable, to be honest with you. So that free, that means our filter is gonna be free-ish. No? Yes? Maybe? Let's try to get this plastic clip off again. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit for you and get you a more relevant shot, plus out of the way. That's the shot I want. Ugh. So you could probably do this with your hands, honestly. This one looks pretty easy. But I'm gonna do a wrench anyway because I'm stubborn. Go ahead and this plastic part's gonna get thrown away with the old filter anyway. But it does need, the pipe needs some wiggle. You know, there's some back and forth turn in to free up. Yeah, she's free. She just needs to come out. There she goes. And it's gonna leak out of every hole when I pull that out. Come on out. Don't be shy. There we go. Yeah, the camera's following the gas, I guess. Thinking, is there anything gonna stop that from flowing? Yep, okay, cool, the pump will. Nice. Cool. So we're focusing on the filter. So we got this end unplugged and this end unscrewed, and the threads look awful on that. I'm not gonna kid you. And it's hard turning because it's hard turning on the pipe. That's not cool either. But what's, you know, it is what it is. As long as it doesn't leak when we're all done. Of course, now everything's gonna leak. Oh sure, let's just have a leaking party. So let's go ahead and get this filter out of this little mount here. Yeah, it's just gonna leak from one end or the other. It's just gonna say, I'm gonna leak from all over it. Now it did come out. Yeah, there we go. Get you out of the way and just push it out. There we go. So that's the old one out. It is a Hastings GF238, whatever. Let's just drop that there, and let's put the new one on. I'm gonna leave you right there. Let's slide our brand new shiny empty filter in. I wonder if they designed these to be a little smaller so they fit nicer. That I don't know. Let's go ahead and click that guy in there. And it should go click. That's that. Those quick connects are winning, and you know, some cars come with quick connects on each side, and those cars are awesome. And some come with screws on each end, and those cars are less awesome. So that side's done. Yay, we're cool. And then we're gonna bring the threaded side back in. Now this is gonna be the bear, because how do you know if you're turning it versus stripping it more? So let's move my gas out of here so I got some space. I can tell it's already not, that's better. It's a better angle on it. Let me see if I can get this thing to free up a hair. And let's switch over to the adjustable, just because that 5/8 is tight. Tighter than it needs to be for what we're doing. Did that do anything? No. Unless you do that, hand tighten it in until she's good and then snug it down, which is exactly what I want right there. So there she goes. And that's lots of thread, that's part of the charm. How tight do you want to go? Kind of tight, but not forever tight. That's good. Now this is an easy leak test. I'm gonna leave you here for that if you're still running. We're just gonna key it a couple times. If gas comes dripping out anywhere, then we've got a leak, and if it doesn't, then we're good. So that's probably tight enough for that. So you'll hear a door chime. Or not. That's good. Could also start it, that's fine. Now the pump's running continuously. And there's no gas dripping anywhere. So success! Let me snatch you here. Oof. So that's the fuel filter change. Focus for me. There we go. Schroeder valve's not leaking, we're good there. New fuel filter's not leaking. It took it a second to start because it had a big air chunk in it, right? You gotta fill that filter up. It takes some time. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. And I'm gonna leave you with the last engine start time lapse for the cards because I'm cool like that. And I'll see you next time.